Hey, this is Scott. So welcome back to my YouTube channel where I do a variety of videos for data science, statistics, analytics. Today this is going to be hands-on. It's going to be a multivariate statistical analysis, testing for quality of treatments, heart attacks actually, in a repeated measure design using R. So we're going to be calculating a t-squared statistic, a multivariate t-squared. But here's the setup. So we have a heart attack trials on 3 different variables or indices. And so this researcher is considering those for measuring the severity of heart attacks. And the value of these 3 indices, for 40, can't help myself. For 40 heart attack patients arriving at a hospital emergency room, produce some summary statistics. And so all 3 indices are evaluated for each patient. And what we want to do is we want to test the equality of the means using an alpha 0.05. We want to come up with a t-squared statistic in the end. So these are the values right here. So the mean vector is there, 46.1, 57.3, and 50.4. And the sample covariance matrix is there on the right. And so what we're going to do is we're going to calculate this t-square statistic. This is a multivariate t-square if you're familiar with the F distribution, right? From statistics, this is a multivariate analog to that. So it's equal to n times C times x bar quantity primed times C prime, the inverse, times C bar. And then we compare that to an F statistic and determine statistical importance. All right, so if we go into R, we'll look at some quick code here. So this is what I want to do. This data comes from Johnson and Wishern, and so I'm going to create an X bar here using the matrix function and the combine function in R. So a 3 by 1 vector, and then I'll do the covariance, sample covariance matrix right here using the matrix function as well as the combine function in R. And then lastly, I'll create the contrast matrix here as well. So that's going to be a 2 by 3, and to get all of those, and then the sample size will be 40. I'll do that, and then I'll just make sure that I got everything that I want. So there, if you look in the lower left panel here, there's the X bar, there's a covariance matrix, there's C, and I probably should have typed in N, and N is 40. All right, so previously I used SAS to do these calculations, and so SAS actually it's a lot prettier. It's more straightforward. So if you do it in SAS, you just multiply like we just saw in that equation in that PowerPoint slide, N times, and it's C times X bar, that quantity primed, transposed, times the inverse of C times S times C prime, or transpose of C, and then multiply that times C times X bar. That's it. So to do that, the ugly quick answer is just this, right? So this whole thing is equal, this thing right here is equal to this right here. There's just a couple of little nuances. So if you want to go straight to it, we'll do this, and then I'll calculate that out. And then if I wanted to see what that was, TSQ, and then we get down here 90.49. So that is a big number right there. Okay, so then if we break it out, what we can do is we can just calculate this thing in chunks, right? So this chunk right here, CX bar, is going to be the quantity of the C, the contrast matrix, times x bar. And so this is something important to note in R, that when you do scalar multiplication, it's just this asterisk. But when you do matrix, it's this thing. It's parentheses, asterisk, parentheses. All right. So do that. Whoops, I didn't do the whole line. I'm just hitting the Control Enter to calculate a line at a time or whatever highlight. All right. So to do this piece right here, I'm just going to call this thing C by S by C prime and calculate that. Control Enter. And then see what that thing is. Control Enter, and then there I have it right there. This 2 by 2. If I want to calculate the inverse now up here, again I'm just going to land on the line, Control Enter, and then that gives me that value there. And then if I wanted to see what that was, just highlight that. I'll just do a copy and then a paste, and then there's the value for that. And then lastly, this is the third chunk here, C by X bar. And so that's just like we did before without the transpose. And that is that thing there, 11.2 and 4.3. And then if we actually take these three chunks that we just calculated out, right, these three chunks, so n scalar times a matrix multiplication times another matrix, and then calculate all that, and I get t squared. And just see if they agree. This is t squared, that's at 90.49, and then that's that 90.49. And then we compare that to the F, and it is significant. Oops. So, all right. Hopefully that makes sense. And please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Give me a like. Appreciate it. And let me know what you want to see.